All right, so are you ready to unpack the Michael Jackson success story?
I am absolutely ready. Let's dive in.
I think this is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for this one.
Yeah.
So we've got excerpts from his Wikipedia page and then a whole nother Wikipedia page all about his cultural impact.
Wow.
And then some YouTube clips that we'll be looking at too.
Right.
All to figure out how he became the king of pop,
Yeah.
what his legacy is, and I don't know, because this is EL Podcast Zone.
Yes.
We will be weaving in some English learning tips along the way.
It's amazing how much you can learn from his story.
Oh, absolutely. And I think his music is so catchy and memorable that it really does lend itself well to language learning.
Yeah.
So to kick things off, let's rewind all the way back to the beginning.
Okay.
Michael's childhood and his time with the Jackson 5. I think that's super important to understanding his whole story.
Yeah. I mean, those early years in Gary, Indiana really shaped him.
Shaped him.
Oh.
It's crazy to think he started his career at 6 years old.
6 years old.
6 years old.
Wow.
And not just singing backup. He quickly became the lead vocalist.
I know.
Think about the talent and the pressure at that age.
Absolutely. His father, Joe Jackson, was a huge influence. He managed the group, and there are a lot of stories about his strictness.
Oh yeah, for sure. Some might even say harsh.
Right.
But it's clear that, whatever you think about his methods,
Yeah.
Joe's discipline played a role in their success. It's a complicated part of the story.
It's an interesting dynamic to consider.
For sure.
On the one hand, you have this incredible talent that's being nurtured.
Right.
But on the other hand, there was immense pressure.
Yeah.
But despite that, or maybe even because of it, the Jackson 5 took off?
They took off ABC, I Want You Back.
Oh, yeah.
Those songs were massive hits.
Huge.
And for our listeners learning English, by the way, those song titles are great for practice.
They are.
ABC, perfect for the alphabet.
Yes.
I Want You Back.
Yeah.
Very clear way to express desire.
That's right. And you can really learn a lot of vocabulary and grammar just from listening to his songs.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And as much as the Jackson 5 was a sensation, Michael going solo was kind of inevitable.
Right.
Like it was going to happen. It was like a rocket taking off.
It was.
His 1979 album, Off the Wall,
Oh, yeah.
was a huge turning point.
Such a good album.
It fused pop-funk disco, so innovative for its time.
That album was a statement.
It was.
Not just musically, but his personal style was evolving too.
Yes.
The single glove,
Yeah.
the sequin jacket, those visuals were so important in crafting his image.
He was becoming an icon.
Yes.
But then there's this really interesting twist.
Oh, okay.
When he released Billie Jean, MTV was hesitant to play it.
Now, that might seem strange to us now,
I know.
but back then, MTV wasn't really playing many videos by Black artists.
Yeah, it was a different time for sure.
Yes. It reminds us how different the music industry was then.
And this resistance to playing Billie Jean actually helped propel him to even greater heights.
How so?
Well, the more MTV resisted,
Yeah.
the more attention it drew. And then when they finally caved, Billie Jean blew up.
It blew up.
And it wasn't just the song.
Yeah.
The music video was a masterpiece.
Absolutely. Billie Jean is full of great English expressions.
I know.
Take the line, she was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene.
Oh, yeah.
Such vivid imagery
Yes.
and great vocabulary for our listeners to practice.
Yes. The music and the words, they flow together so perfectly.
Easily.
It was a cultural moment.
Yeah.
But the real seismic shift, the one that changed everything, was Thriller.
Oh, yes.
That's when things went stratospheric.
Yeah, Thriller wasn't just an album, it was an event.
Yes.
The music, the visuals, the choreography, it was just a whole other level.
And the Thriller music video,
Oh my God.
phenomenon in itself, 14 minutes long.
I know.
Directed by John Landis, who also directed An American Werewolf in London.
Right.
It was like a mini movie.
It was like a mini movie. And speaking of movies, let's talk about the impact of Thriller on music videos as a medium.
Okay.
Before Michael, music videos were pretty basic. Right.
They were almost like glorified commercials.
Yeah.
But Thriller changed the game completely.
Yeah.
It was like watching a short film
Yes.
with a storyline and choreography and groundbreaking special effects.
It set a new standard.
It did.
And, MTV, which was brand new back then,
Yeah,
saw its viewership skyrocket thanks to Michael's videos.
for sure. He single-handedly made music videos an art form.
He did. And for English learners, think about how the word thriller itself entered popular vocabulary.
Right.
We use it for exciting books, movies, even roller coasters.
Yes.
That shows you the impact that he had.
Wow.
He influenced language itself.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And it cost over $1 million to produce
I know.
which was unheard of at the time,
Unheard of.
but it revolutionized the industry.
Yeah.
Artists suddenly understood that music videos could be these elaborate productions.
And it wasn't just about spectacle.
Right.
It was about storytelling and emotion.
Absolutely.
Think about that iconic zombie transformation scene.
Oh, yeah. Nobody had seen anything like that in a music video before.
Groundbreaking, and the impact is undeniable. I mean, think about those videos of prisoners in the Philippines performing the Thriller dance.
Yes.
Even in a place so far removed from MTV and pop culture, Thriller connected with people.
It did. It tapped into something universal.
Yes.
It wasn't just a hit. It became a global phenomenon.
It really did.
And the choreography,
Oh my God.
the zombie dance sequence, instant classic.
Instant.
People still recreate it today all over the world.
Absolutely.
Thriller also had a profound cultural impact, particularly regarding race. It broke down barriers on MTV, paving the way for other Black artists to get their music played.
You can't overstate that impact.
No.
Imagine the music landscape before and after Thriller. It was a complete shift.
Total shift.
Right.
It elevated music videos from just promotional tools to an art form.
Completely.
It's true. But let's not forget about the music itself.
Right.
For our listeners who are trying to improve their English, let's pick out a line from Thriller and practice pronunciation together. Okay, I'm ready.
All right, I'm gonna go with "They're out to get you." There's demons closing in on every side.
Ooh, good one.
That alliteration with the D sound,
Yes.
it's really fun to practice.
Okay, I'm gonna go with, because this is Thriller Night.
Oh yeah,
Simple, but catchy,
very catchy.
and it's a great way to practice your rhythm and intonation.
Yeah.
So for those listening, repeat after us.
Okay,
Okay,
they're out to get you. There's demons closing in on every side.
because this is Thriller Night.
See, fluency is about confidence and practice.
It is.
So keep engaging with the language and you'll be amazed at how much you improve.
Absolutely.
Now, Thriller wasn't just about entertainment. It sparked trends in dance fashion, even inspired those prisoner dance routines we mentioned. It connected with something deep within people, something primal.
It did. It continues to inspire filmmakers, choreographers, artists of all kinds. Thriller is a cultural touchstone. It is. Okay, so we have this musical genius, breaking records, electrifying audiences, pushing creative boundaries. But what a lot of people don't realize is that Michael was also incredibly smart when it came to business.
Oh, absolutely. His business acumen is often overlooked, but it's a crucial part of his success story.
He understood the power of owning music catalogs, something that he actually learned from Paul McCartney.
Oh, wow.
He saw how McCartney was making millions in royalties from owning the rights to other artists' songs.
Smart.
And that's when Michael started strategically acquiring publishing rights to songs that he admired.
Wow.
And his biggest move, the one that made headlines, was when he acquired the Beatles catalog.
What?
It shocked a lot of people,
I bet.
but it was brilliant.
It was a bold move, and it really caused a stir in the music industry.
Oh, it did.
He outbid Paul McCartney himself for the rights to those iconic songs.
He did. And he gained control of some of the most valuable songs ever written, generating income for decades.
Wow.
This wasn't just about being a musician. This was about building an empire.
That acquisition alone made him incredibly wealthy and just solidified his influence in the music industry.
He wasn't just a performer.
Right.
He was a power player, a savvy businessman.
He was playing chess while others were playing checkers?
Yes, he was. But as we know, Michael's journey wasn't without its controversies,
That's right.
and we need to address those as well.
We do. As his fame grew, so did the tabloid speculation about his personal life and appearance.
Yeah, this started in the mid-1980s,
Right.
and it was around this time that his changing skin tone became a major topic of discussion, fueled by this relentless media spotlight.
Of course, but remember he had vitiligo,
Yes.
a skin condition that causes loss of pigmentation.
Yes, and he was diagnosed by his dermatologist in 1986.
That's right. And it wasn't just a cosmetic issue.
No.
Vitiligo can have significant psychological effects.
Imagine dealing with that under the constant scrutiny of the media.
It must have been incredibly difficult.
Must have been. And tragically, the tabloid speculation didn't stop there.
No, it took a much darker turn. It led to one of the most challenging chapters in his story, the child sexual abuse allegations.
Yes.
And this is something that we need to address sensitively and impartially, sticking to the information from our sources.
Absolutely. The first accusation surfaced in 1993, brought by a 13-year-old boy and his father.
Right.
And this led to a highly publicized investigation and intense media scrutiny. It put immense pressure on Michael.
It did, and ultimately the case was settled out of court with no criminal charges being filed.
Right.
However, the damage was done.
The cloud of suspicion lingered.
It did, and unfortunately that wasn't the end of it.
No.
In 2005, a second set of allegations arose, this time leading to a criminal trial.
Yes, that trial was a media frenzy.
My goodness.
Every detail was dissected and debated.
Oh, for sure.
And it took a huge toll on Michael's health and well-being.
Of course.
But it's important to note that after a lengthy and highly publicized trial, he was acquitted of all charges.
He was. And FBI files that were released posthumously showed that they found no evidence of criminal conduct on his part in either case.
Yeah, it's important to present this information impartially.
Absolutely.
We're simply conveying what the sources reveal.
That's right.
We're not taking sides. We're laying out the facts as they presented in the source material.
Exactly.
These allegations and their impact on Michael's life and career are undeniable.
Yes, they are. But in the midst of these controversies, it's crucial to remember that Michael also had a profound impact on the world, extending far beyond music.
He used his platform to advocate for peace and to raise awareness of important social issues, especially those affecting children.
Yes. His Heal the World Foundation,
Yes.
started in 1992, was dedicated to improving the lives of children worldwide.
And his actions matched his words. He visited orphanages, children's hospitals, consistently used his platform to speak up for those in need.
He did, and his impact wasn't limited to the United States.
Right.
His influence was global, particularly in Africa and Romania.
His visit to Romania in 1992 is a great example.
Oh, tell me about it.
The level of excitement surrounding his arrival was unlike anything anyone had seen before.
I can imagine.
There are reports of thousands of fans storming the city in protest because they believed that he deserved the Nobel Peace Prize.
Wow.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Imagine inspiring that level of passion and support.
It's amazing. That story always blows my mind.
I know. And while we're talking about global impact, we can't forget about his enduring popularity in Saudi Arabia.
Absolutely.
His music transcended cultural and linguistic boundaries, connecting with people on a really deep level. Even after his death in 2009, tributes and memorials in Saudi Arabia demonstrated the profound impact he had on fans there.
It's incredible.
It really shows you the universal appeal of his artistry.
It does.
And that brings us to another important aspect of his legacy, his influence on other musicians.
Right.
It's safe to say that he was a musical inspiration to countless artists across genres.
Absolutely. His fingerprints were all over contemporary music, from his iconic dance moves to his innovations in music videos. His influence is still felt today.
For example, Rita Ora frequently refers to Michael as her king.
Wow.
And Bruno Mars has said that every artist should want to be like Michael Jackson.
High praise indeed.
High praise. Even K-pop stars like BTS have named him as a major inspiration. Members Jimin and Jungkook have done some amazing dance covers of Black or White.
Amazing.
And the ripple effect goes beyond pop stars. Dave Kuning, the guitarist for The Killers, credits Thriller with sparking his musical dreams.
Yeah.
It's incredible to see his impact across generations and genres.
It is. It really highlights how powerful and enduring his artistry is.
And for our English learners, Michael's story is a perfect example of how music can be a fantastic tool for language learning.
Yes.
Music is engaging, it's emotional, it exposes you to a wide range of vocabulary and grammar. So we challenge you to pick one of your favorite Michael Jackson songs and dive into the lyrics. Look up words you don't know. Pay attention to the sentence structure.
Right.
And most importantly, sing along.
Yes. Singing along is an amazing way to improve your pronunciation and rhythm. You'll be surprised how much you can learn from just one song.
Absolutely. And if you're feeling adventurous, try translating the lyrics into your native language.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah,
It's like building a musical bridge between cultures.
it is. So we've explored the Jackson 5 Thriller, Michael's business savvy, the controversies, and his global impact. But I'd like to switch gears for a moment and talk about Michael's personal life.
Okay.
He was famously private,
Right.
which is understandable given his fame. But I'm curious, what do you think he was seeking by creating Neverland?
That's a good question. It's like he created these two separate worlds, the dazzling superstar on stage,
Yeah,
and then this very secluded private life Neverland Ranch was interesting.
it was.
It was this sprawling estate in California, complete with an amusement park, a zoo, a movie theater, like his own personal fantasy world. Some have speculated that he was trying to recapture the childhood that he missed, given his intense focus on performing from such a young age.
That's a really poignant observation.
Yeah.
And while Neverland was often portrayed as extravagant,
Yeah.
there are also stories about him finding peace in simple things there, like spending time with animals or watching old movies.
Ah.
It paints a picture of a complex individual yearning for normalcy amidst superstardom.
That yearning is reflected in some of his music, too.
Yes.
Like Heal the World.
Oh, yeah.
Such a powerful call for peace and understanding. It's a message that resonates deeply, especially today.
It really does. And it speaks to the enduring power of his music.
Yeah,
It transcends time and place, connecting with universal emotions and desires.
absolutely.
Now, speaking of things that transcend time, I think we need to talk about Michael's influence on fashion.
Oh, yes.
He was a true style icon.
His iconic looks are instantly recognizable. The single glove, the fedora, the military jackets, that red leather jacket from Thriller, they became synonymous with his image and were copied by fans all over the world.
Even today, you see designers taking inspiration from his style.
Oh, yeah.
He understood the power of visuals, of creating a strong and memorable image.
Absolutely.
He was a master of branding before social media made it a buzzword.
That's a great lesson for anyone trying to make a statement, whether it's a music business or just in life. Crafting a distinctive image can be incredibly powerful.
It's about expressing your individuality, setting yourself apart. But let's not forget what made Michael truly captivating: his dance moves.
Yes.
The moonwalk, the anti-gravity lean, the robot. He made it all look effortless.
He did. Those moves weren't just impressive physically. They were filled with emotion, with storytelling.
Yes.
He used his body as an instrument to express the music in a way that words couldn't.
And for English learners, think about how communication goes beyond words.
That's
Body language, facial expressions, dance moves,
yeah.
they all convey powerful messages.
New.
It's another layer of communication to pay attention to.
Absolutely.
Now, we've talked about his influence on music, fashion, dance, but what about his impact on other artists? He's been such a huge inspiration for so many musicians.
Oh yeah, we could spend hours listing artists who cite him as a role model. Pop icons like Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake, R&B stars like Usher and Chris Brown, they've all acknowledged his impact.
Even rock bands like The Killers and Coldplay have mentioned him as an influence.
It's incredible.
It shows you just how versatile he was.
Yeah.
Transcending genre boundaries.
Absolutely. And it's not just American artists either. His global reach is evident in the countless tributes and covers performed by musicians worldwide.
You're right. From K-pop to Latin American singers to European DJs, his music has touched them all.
It really speaks to the universal language of music.
It does.
Hmm.
But I'm curious to bring this back to you personally. What was it like to navigate fame at such a young age?
It was intense, to say the least.
I bet.
The constant attention, the lack of privacy, it was overwhelming at times.
I can imagine. And then to have these accusations leveled against you later in life.
Yeah.
It must have felt like a betrayal on top of everything else.
It was incredibly painful, but I always maintained my innocence, and I was ultimately vindicated in court.
I know this is a difficult topic, but I think it's important for people to hear your perspective. What would you say to those who still have doubts?
I would simply say, look at the evidence.
Okay.
The facts speak for themselves.
That's a powerful statement.
Yeah.
And I think it speaks to your resilience, your ability to persevere in the face of adversity.
Thank you. It wasn't easy, but I always tried to focus on the positive, on the music, on my connection with my fans.
Speaking of your fans, their dedication is remarkable. Those stories about fans demanding a Nobel Peace Prize for you, that's incredible. What do you think it was about you that inspired such devotion?
I think it was the message of love and unity in my music.
Okay.
People resonated with the idea of healing the world, of coming together despite our differences.
That message is as relevant today as it was then. It's a timeless message.
It really is. And it's a reminder that music can be a powerful force for good in the world.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive into your success story.
And we have.
We've explored your incredible musical journey, the highs and the lows, your cultural impact, your controversies, your personal life, and your influence on countless other artists.
It's been quite a journey.
It's been an incredible journey so far, and I'm eager to hear more about your perspective on these events.
I'm happy to share my thoughts.
Great. So for our listeners, we're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere, because we'll be right back to continue this fascinating deep dive into the world of Michael Jackson.
Sounds good. You know, one thing that always fascinated me was your approach to creating music. It wasn't just about writing songs, it was about crafting a complete experience.
Oh, for sure. You're always pushing boundaries, blending genres, experimenting with sounds. Off the Wall is a perfect example of that.
Oh, yeah.
It was such a departure from your Jackson 5 days, showcasing a more mature sound.
And think about the context of that time.
Yeah.
disco was huge.
Yeah.
And you blended it with funk, soul, and pop elements, creating something entirely fresh and exciting.
Yes.
It was a sonic landscape that nobody had explored before.
And you were only 21 years old when you released that album.
I know, it's crazy.
It's incredible to think about the level of creativity and innovation that you had at such a young age.
Yeah.
It laid the foundation for everything that came after.
Yeah, but you weren't just focused on the sound.
Right.
You also had a keen eye for visuals, understanding that image was just as important as the music itself.
Absolutely. From the single glove to the fedoras,
Yeah.
your style was iconic.
Yes.
You knew how to create a visual identity that was instantly recognizable and memorable.
And that carried over into your music videos.
Yes.
You transformed them from simple promotional tools into these elaborate productions with storylines, choreography, and groundbreaking special effects.
It's true.
You were a true visionary.
Thriller was a game changer in that regard.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't just a music video, it was a short film that raised the bar for the entire industry.
It did. And it was also a significant moment for breaking down racial barriers on MTV.
It was.
You paved the way for other Black artists to get their music played on the channel, which was a major turning point in music history. It's a testament to your impact and influence.
And for our listeners learning English, it's fascinating to see how a song like Thriller influenced the language itself.
Right.
Thriller is now a word we use to describe any experience that's exciting or suspenseful.
Yeah.
That's the power of your artistry. It transcends music and becomes part of our everyday language.
That's amazing. Speaking of language, your lyrics are full of vivid imagery and poetic language that's great for English learners to study.
Oh, for sure.
Take the line from Billie Jean. She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene.
Oh, I love that line.
It's a great way to practice pronunciation and learn descriptive vocabulary.
It is.
Yeah.
And, you know, another interesting aspect of your story is that you weren't just a performer, you were also a shrewd businessman. You understood the power of owning music catalogs, which led you to acquire the Beatles catalog, a move that made you incredibly wealthy and solidified your influence in the music industry.
Acquiring those rights was a bold move,
It was.
and it really highlighted your business acumen.
It did.
It wasn't just about creating music, it was about understanding the music industry as a business and making strategic decisions for long-term success.
It's like you were playing chess while others were playing checkers.
Exactly.
You saw the bigger picture, the long-term value of owning those iconic songs.
And it wasn't just about personal gain either.
Right.
Owning those catalogs gave you control over how those songs were used and ensured that they would continue to generate revenue for years to come.
It's true.
It was a savvy business move that secured your financial future and cemented your legacy as a music industry powerhouse.
It's amazing how you were able to navigate those different worlds, the creative artistry and the business savvy.
Yeah.
It takes a unique kind of talent to excel in both areas.
It definitely wasn't easy.
I bet.
There were many challenges along the way, both personal and professional,
Right.
but I always tried to stay true to myself, to my music, and to my fans.
And despite the controversies that arose, you always maintained your innocence.
I did.
It must have been incredibly difficult to face those accusations and the relentless media scrutiny that followed.
It was a dark time, no doubt, but I was ultimately vindicated, and the truth prevailed.
Your resilience and determination throughout those challenges are truly inspiring.
Thank you.
You never let the negativity overshadow your passion for music and your desire to make a positive impact on the world.
I believe that music has the power to heal, to unite, and to inspire.
Yes.
That's what I always strive to do with my music.
And that's what resonated with millions of fans worldwide.
It did.
Your message of love and unity transcended cultural and linguistic barriers, connecting with people on a deep emotional level.
And it's a message that continues to resonate today.
It does.
The world needs healing now more than ever.
It does.
We need to come together, embrace our differences, and focus on the things that unite us.
Well said. And I think your music is a testament to that belief.
Thank you.
It's a reminder that we're all connected regardless of our backgrounds or beliefs.
Yeah.
We can find common ground through music and the universal language of love.
And for English learners, I think exploring music in different languages can be a fantastic way to connect with other cultures and expand your vocabulary.
I agree.
Take the iconic line from Man in the Mirror.
Okay.
I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways.
Yes?
The message is universal. It's about personal responsibility and taking action to make a positive change.
It's a powerful message. And it's amazing how it resonates across languages. For those listening who are learning English, Pay attention to how the present continuous tense is used in that line.
Right.
I'm asking.
Yes.
It emphasizes the ongoing nature of self-improvement. It's a subtle grammatical detail that adds depth to the meaning.
Exactly. And for those who want to challenge themselves, try translating those lyrics into your native language.
Ooh, yeah.
It's a fun exercise that can deepen your understanding of both languages.
I love that idea. Now, speaking of challenges, I'm curious about your experience with fame at such a young age.
Oh, yeah.
Must have been a whirlwind, to say the least.
It definitely had its ups and downs.
Yeah.
On the one hand, it was incredible to share my music with the world and see how much joy it brought people. But on the other hand, the constant scrutiny and lack of privacy were difficult to handle, especially as a child.
It's hard to imagine the level of pressure and attention you faced.
It was a lot.
And then to have your personal life become tabloid fodder. It's heartbreaking to think about what you went through.
It wasn't easy, but I always tried to stay focused on the positive, on the music, on my connection with my fans, and on my mission to make a difference in the world.
And you certainly did make a difference.
Thank you.
Your philanthropy,
Yeah.
your advocacy for children,
Yeah.
your message of peace and unity, it all had a profound impact.
I believe it's important to use your platform for good, to speak up for those who don't have a voice, and to inspire positive change.
And you did just that. Your legacy extends far beyond music.
Oh, wow.
You are a cultural icon, a humanitarian, and an inspiration to countless people worldwide.
Thank you. I'm humbled by the impact I've had, and I hope that my music continues to inspire people to dream big, to fight for what they believe in, and to strive for a better world.
You know, another thing that struck me about your story is your creative process.
Oh, yeah.
You were known for being incredibly meticulous and detail-oriented in the studio.
I was.
Can you tell us a bit about your approach to creating music?
I always believed that music was a gift,
Oh.
a way to express emotions and connect with people on a soul level.
Right.
So when I entered the studio, I wanted to create something that was not only catchy and entertaining, but also meaningful and timeless.
That attention to detail is evident in every aspect of your work, from the intricate harmonies and layered vocals to the innovative production techniques and groundbreaking music videos. It's clear that you put your heart and soul into every project.
I was always pushing myself to evolve, to experiment with new sounds and styles.
Yeah.
I wanted to create music that would transcend genres and stand the test of time.
And you certainly achieved that. Your music is as popular today as it was decades ago,
That's amazing.
and it continues to inspire new generations of artists. It's a testament to your talent and your dedication to your craft.
Thank you. I'm grateful for the opportunity to share my music with the world, and I hope it continues to bring people joy and inspiration.
Speaking of inspiration, you are a master of blending different musical genres, from pop and funk to rock and soul.
I was.
How did you approach that process?
I grew up listening to a wide variety of music, everything from Motown and soul to classical and rock.
Wow.
I always loved how music could transport you to different places and emotions.
It's amazing how you are able to weave those diverse influences into your own unique sound.
Yeah.
That's what makes your music so compelling and timeless.
And for those learning English, I think it's important to expose yourself to different genres of music.
Yes.
It's a great way to expand your vocabulary, improve your listening comprehension, and discover new ways to express yourself in English.
That's a fantastic tip.
Yeah,
Music can be such a powerful tool for language learning.
it can.
It's engaging, it's emotional, and it immerses you in the culture of the language you're learning.
And don't be afraid to sing along.
Yes.
Even if you don't know all the words, singing along to your favorite English songs can help you improve your pronunciation and rhythm.
Absolutely.
Oh,
It's a fun and effective way to practice. And if you're feeling adventurous, you can even try writing your own songs in English.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a great way to put your language skills to the test and express your creativity.
Now let's talk about your incredible dance moves.
Okay.
The moonwalk, the anti-gravity lean. You were a true innovator who redefined dance in popular music.
Thank you.
What was it about dance that resonated so deeply with you?
Well, for me, dance was always about storytelling, expressing emotions and ideas through movement.
I love that perspective. You weren't just dancing, you were communicating, telling a story with your body.
Exactly. It was an extension of the music, a way to bring the songs to life visually.
Yeah.
And it was also a way to connect with the audience on a deeper level.
And for English learners, think about how body language can enhance your communication skills.
Yes.
It's another layer of expression that can help you connect with others and convey your message more effectively.
That's a great point. Nonverbal communication is such an important part of human interaction, and it's especially crucial when you're learning a new language.
It is.
Pay attention to gestures, facial expressions, and body posture. It all adds another layer of meaning to your words.
You know, it's amazing how much we can learn from your story about music, about creativity, about resilience, about the power of human connection.
It's a truly inspiring journey, filled with incredible highs and lows. You've left an undeniable mark on the world, and your legacy continues to inspire millions.
Thank you. I'm humbled by the impact I've had, and I hope that my music continues to bring people joy, inspiration, and hope for a better tomorrow.
So for our listeners, we're going to take another quick pause. We'll be right back to wrap up this incredible deep dive into the extraordinary life and legacy of Michael Jackson. Okay, we are back for the third and final part of our deep dive into the Michael Jackson success story.
I can't believe how much we've covered.
I know, it's amazing, and we're not even done yet.
There's still more.
There's still more.
Yeah.
I feel like with every deep dive we do, we can just keep talking forever.
Oh, absolutely.
There's always more to explore.
Yeah.
But we do have to wrap things up, so let's make sure we hit these last couple of points that I think are really interesting.
Okay, sounds good.
You know, one thing that stood out to me in the research is that you were one of the first artists to really embrace the potential of video games
Yes.
as a way to connect with fans.
Michael Jackson. The Experience was such a cool project.
It was released in 2010, and it was one of the first games to use those motion sensing camera systems.
Connect and PlayStation Move.
Yes, and it allowed players to like dance along to your songs.
Yeah.
Almost like they were performing alongside you.
It was a really innovative way to experience the music.
It was groundbreaking for its time.
It got me thinking about how technology is keeping my music and my legacy alive for new generations.
Yeah.
From video games to streaming services to social media, there are so many ways for people to discover and connect with my music today, even those who weren't alive when I was at the peak of my career.
It's true. It's like your music has transcended time and space.
And it made me think about how music itself is a form of technology.
Oh,
It's a way to capture and transmit emotions, stories, experiences across time and space.
yeah.
It's this powerful form of communication that can connect people from all walks of life.
And you were a master of that language,
Oh, thank you.
using music to create something truly universal.
Speaking of universal languages, I think it's important to note that learning English can open up a whole new world of music and cultural experiences.
Oh, absolutely. For our listeners who are learning English, don't be afraid to dive into music in English. It's an incredible resource for language acquisition.
Pick a song you love, listen to it closely, read the lyrics, and try to understand the meaning behind the words.
Singing along is also a great way to improve your pronunciation and fluency.
And pay attention to the different genres of music in English.
Oh yeah,
You've got pop rock, hip-hop, country.
so many.
Each genre has its own unique vocabulary and style.
Yes,
Exploring those different genres can enrich your understanding of the language and the culture.
absolutely.
And it can even inspire you to write your own songs in English,
Yes.
which is a fantastic way to practice your writing and storytelling skills.
So as we reach the end of our deep dive,
Yes.
I want to emphasize one key point. This isn't just about Michael Jackson's success story.
All right.
It's about the power of music to transcend boundaries, to connect people, to inspire change.
That's beautifully put. Music is a universal language that speaks to the heart and soul. It has the power to heal, to uplift, to unite. And that's the legacy I hope to leave behind, a legacy of music that inspires love, hope, and understanding.
And for those of you listening, I encourage you to keep exploring Michael Jackson's music, his life story, and his impact on the world. There's a wealth of information out there, documentaries, books, interviews. Dive in and discover the magic for yourselves.
And remember, keep practicing your English. The more you immerse yourself in the language, the more you'll be able to appreciate the nuances and beauty of music in English.
This deep dive has been an incredible journey, and I want to thank you for sharing your insights and experiences with us.
It's been my pleasure, and thank you to all the listeners for joining us on this exploration.
So until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep the music playing.